So thank you for joining another episode of the Financial Literacy Network podcast. I'm Bob Stammers, and I help lead the FLN, which was organized to provide advice, resources, and support to CFA societies around the world interested in financial literacy and investor education, and in supporting like-minded organizations looking for additional resources to help manage their programs. So today we have double trouble as we have two guests. One is Barbara Mainzer, CFA, and the other is Jean Natali. Both are board members of the FLN. Barbara and Jean, thanks for joining us.
Thank you both for being here.
So to give you some background, Barbara is a consultant and speaker. She serves as the president of the board of CFA Society Uruguay, is a member of the Future of Finance Content Council, the Professional Learning Design Council, and the Financial Literacy Council. Barbara is a columnist with El Observador and Canal Cuatro in Uruguay, an ABC colored newspaper and TV in Paraguay. She held various functional roles in private banking, is also an economist with a postgraduate degree in finance, a CFA charter holder, has completed leadership studies at Harvard Business School. Boy, Barbara, that makes me tired thinking of all the things that you do. Jean is CEO and co-founder of Troutwood, a financial technology company founded out of Carnegie Mellon University Schwartz Center. He's a chartered financial analyst, board member at CFA Society Pittsburgh, and part-time lecturer at the University of Pittsburgh. Jean is also an award-winning author and regularly speaks at investment education conferences across the country. So, in addition to learning about the Financial Literacy Initiative at CFA Society Uruguay, I want to discuss how you two collaborated to bring a resource used in the US and then modified it for South America. So, Jean, since your collaboration resulted from a book you created, can you give us an overview of the missing semester? How were you using the book in your financial education initiative?
Absolutely, Bob. And I'll answer in one sentence the question you asked prior to that. And the collaboration happened because of this committee. So thank you for that and that opportunity. The Missing Semester is a short, actionable personal finance book written with a laser focus in the high school and college classroom. The original book was authored in 2013, the sequel in 2020. And those books collectively are used in, I believe, all 50 states in our country. Barbara reached out, and the honest answer is we hit it off, I think, on that first phone call, and the opportunity to collaborate globally is one that I found exciting.
Oh, great. Barbara, I understand that in addition to translating the, Jean's book, you created a new version called Educación Financiera. You also had to modify Jean's book, The Missing Semester, for use in South America. Can you explain exactly what you needed to do there?
Absolutely, Bob. And first of all, I would like to echo what Jean did. This started with the Financial Literacy Committee chaired by you. So thank you for that. And actually, at the beginning, we thought of translating the book. And then we saw we needed to do a different book. Basics in finance are similar almost all over the world, but each country is unique. And so we really took the essence of the original book, but did a different book applied for Uruguay. Like the original book is thinks in dollar terms, does not take into consideration inflation. Here we have to think in local currency, inflation, it's so different here. Jean and I were discussing all the time how one book is not universally applicable all over the world because each country has its nuances. And why we did it together, why did I reach out to Jean? First of all, I believe in the power of collaboration, of working together and of creating something like good, well-functioning teams create much better things than people working in isolation. And then Jean had written a book, such a great book. And this book, as he mentioned, has been used for many years in hundreds of courses all over the US. So we wanted to do something to be used in courses here in Uruguay. So it made all the sense in the world to collaborate.
That's a good segue to my next question, which is, so what is the plan for the book? How do you plan on distributing? Who's the audience? Who are you focusing on in Uruguay?
Maybe I can start off and then Jean can complement. What were the motivations? Basically, we make financial decisions every day of our life. But an assignment we did not have at school is how to manage money. And so we need financial education at all ages. But teenagers and young adults are at a pivotal age, at a particularly, at an age where they are so much interested and they are so interested in learning, and they have all the life to apply the knowledge they acquire. And also they're about to start working or to deciding what they want to study. So it's a particularly fruitful age to learn. So we did it for teenagers and young adults.
Barbara, in Uruguay, the government is pretty supportive of having financial literacy taught in the school systems, aren't they?
Yes, the government is indeed supportive. Uruguay is a small and very well-connected country. Things are scalable here. And of course, everybody realizes the importance of financial education, because we individuals, we face more financial challenges than ever before. Like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, there was basically no talk about preparing for your pension, because you got the pension from the state-owned pension, right? And there wasn't, at least not in Uruguay, there wasn't so much credit available. People were not so much indebted. We did not have so many things as we have now. So it's a topic that it's of increasing importance. And yes, of course, everybody here recognizes it. And I think there is an agreement that it will be very useful if this is taught at schools.
Jean, what do you think? Why do you think we have such difficulty? I'm going to put you on the spot because this is a tough question, but why do you think we have such difficulty here trying to get financial literacy in schools?
I think Barbara has a superpower. I am so. Bob, the updates that she shares on WhatsApp are exciting every time she has one to share. Her network, her persistence, and her passion for this subject, I think, have had a huge impact. Partially, I think the answer is that the U.S. is a much larger country. A lot more stakeholders, which makes progress sometimes difficult. I think we are making incredible progress as a nation, but maybe raising the bar on that question. I think this is an example of how the solution to the problem will be different by every nation. There's different politics, there's different demographics, different wants, different needs, etc. I learned a great deal as part of this collaboration.
So what has been the most significant challenges been in doing this collaboration, and what kind of challenges do you see in putting together this large cross-country initiative?
Barbara, could I answer that one first? Because I'm curious what your answer is going to be, and I want to share mine. For me, Bob, it was the language barrier, because I was not, the translation tools don't give you a one-to-one. So I had to put a ton of trust in Barbara, which was certainly warranted. And as we worked closer together, I felt hugely comfortable doing so. But the language barrier and having to get imperfect translations was my highest point of frustration. Without someone like Barbara, would have candidly been a deal breaker to do something like this.
Since I speak both languages, it did not come up to me that it was a challenge, but it was indeed. And to me, besides the language challenge, there was no challenge at all with this teamwork. On the contrary, it has been a joy. And I think the challenge here is if you're not a team, if there's no trust, if there's no commitment, passion, or greater purpose, then it could be a challenge. But here we were a team, trust was there, partnership, commitment, passion, greater purpose, all was there. So besides what Jean mentions, to me, there were no challenges, just hard work, lot of things to do.
Success is a team sport.
Exactly.
So Barbara, you're just starting off on this. I mean, you still have a lot of ways to go. What kind of challenges do you think you're going to face in trying to roll this out all over Uruguay?
We're actually rolling it out. And since, as I mentioned, it's a small and very well-connected country. And you all, obviously you need the buy-in, you need to explain, you need to apply it properly, you need to be prepared to have people going all over the country or to teach teachers. Those will be the challenges. But as Jean also mentioned, scale is completely different here. So I'm not saying it will be easy, but Uruguay has a human scale. Things are scalable here. So we are very, very positive, very optimistic that financial literacy will not be a missing semester anymore soon in Uruguay.
That's great. So if we have other organizations or CFA societies that are thinking of doing cross-border collaborations, what do you think, what would you tell them in terms of things to consider or the potential benefits that they can get for their work?
Barbara, I can take a first stab at that and let you add on. My advice, if it's a US-based society, Bob, is to listen and to listen intently, ask questions, learn the culture, learn the difference, as opposed to coming in with a know-it-all mentality, for lack of a better description, because those differences, I think, make us stronger. That answer for each part of, call it the globe, is going to be a little bit different, and then we get the correct answers by listening.
Yeah, I agree with all those points. We really need to be country specific in order for it to be relevant, because Jean's book is great, but it's not relevant for Uruguay. We made a Uruguay relevant book. And I would tell people who want to collaborate that this is a people business. So every time there's a team, there's trust, there's the will to collaborate. There's so much that you can do. And there are so many things that have been done. And I always say, I love to copy. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I want to copy it. So reach out to people who have done it and work together, have joy. I'm sure something much better, much bigger will be created if you are the right team.
Well, that's the whole vision of the FLN, is trying to provide information, the experience of others to people that are not really sure about which way to turn on their financial literacy and investor education program. So where can people get more information about your collaboration, your book, the missing semester as well, and the ways to use it?
For Uruguay, this is just the beginning. So they could find the book online. However, this is a very Uruguay specific book, and it's only in Spanish. Penguin Random House has done the editorial, the printing. They have done the book. They have trusted us, and they did really a large print of books. But they wanted to have them available in other places. And we told them, you can have it online, but it's really so much Uruguay specific that I'm not sure it would suit everyone. But as for the Uruguay project, maybe we can have another podcast in some time to come, because I think we will have news. We're working hard on it and rolling it out in schools. Excellent.
How about the missing semester, for our American audience that might want to look for a resource to use?
Missing semester is available on all mediums for institutions, educational organizations, schools, etc. The best way to purchase is in bulk. Bob, I'll just kind of add to your comment on the purpose of the FLN too. We are so much stronger when we work together like this, and it's just one of the great joys of being a CFA charter holder. And I just, Barbara, I know I tend not to talk much, but thank you. It was just an absolute joy working with you on this effort.
Same do I say, Jean. Great teams, and I'm sure we will be so satisfied with all the results we will see down the road.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with what you guys have done. And I know you're just starting, Barbara, and I wanted to make sure people understood the power of collaboration and what can be done across borders. So I'd be really happy to have you on a future podcast so you can tell us about the successes that you've had using the new book and what people can do in the future. So thank you very much for coming today. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this episode. Barbara and Jean, thank you so much for joining us and giving us some insights into your collaboration and the new book about financial literacy. For you that are listening, there are several ways to get involved with the Financial Literacy Network and to get information about other programs and best practices in creating and managing them. The FLN has a LinkedIn group and a website, which can be found at financialliteracynetwork.org. And you've already found the podcast. And you can also send any questions you have or comments to info@financialliteracynetwork.org. So thank you very much for joining us. And we hope you will join us for future podcasts. Thank you very much.